Welcome to Sassy, Soulful, and Sensitive, a podcast for us introverts, empaths, and highly sensitive people. I'm your host, Cam Swell, and together we are going to explore what it's like to build an empowered life with our sensitivities. We're learning how to trust our intuition and trust our voice. Let's dive in. What's up, Buttercups? How you feeling? Today I'm feeling... It's interesting. It's like this low buzz, but there's some excitement and I am grateful to be feeling good and energized today. So I hope that you are doing the same, because today I want to talk about breaking the perfectionism cycle. And there's some funny stories that go along with this that I'm going to be sharing with you that it kind of inspired this whole episode. So stay tuned for those. So first, let's talk about perfectionism, because it's like, okay, what is it? And let's really talk about like what it keeps us from doing and from being and from enjoying. Because when people hear the term perfectionist, they often think about someone who is like obsessed with like flawless work or spotless homes, or just the kind of like that gold star performance. But the reality of it is perfectionism doesn't always show up that way. Like for me and for many of the people I work with, it's really kind of sneaky because it kind of comes in as comparison. This idea that you're constantly measuring yourself against other people and you're coming up short, or doubt, where you're second guessing every decision until your self-worth is just kind of like bottomed out, right? Or sometimes it shows up as overthinking, right? That running endless mental loop before you say, do, or share anything. But then there's also avoidance, which is kind of skipping the thing entirely because you might mess it up. So perfectionism is not just about having high standards. It's about attaching your worth to how well you perform or how well you show up or how little you mess up, and letting that fear decide what you do or what you don't do. And perfectionism has this sneaky habit over time. Like it convinces you, it's so convincing that these patterns are just who you are. But my friend, I'm here to tell you they're not, because they are just stories that your brain is telling you. And not all thoughts are true. We know this. So I've been doing a lot of reflecting on how coaching has just completely rewired and transformed the way I think and relive my life. Yes, I'm still human. Yes, I still have struggles and all that stuff. But it's so wild to me because some of the changes like are super obvious, but a lot of them have kind of snuck up on me as I was doing this reflection exercise in just small everyday ways, in everyday moments that I used to avoid. And as I've been reflecting on these instances, which I'll share those stories in a moment, but I realized how kind of all of this fits into a framework that I've been developing about feeling and noticing and transforming your emotions long before I've ever been able to put it into words. So I'm really excited for what is coming there. So stay tuned. Make sure to join my email list if you want to be one of the people that knows about this first. Take the quiz, get on the email list. It's awesome. So I want to preface these stories because some people might hear them and like kind of like roll their eyes or have opinions. And honestly, that's totally okay. Like thinking of that, like that used to stop me from sharing. Like before I would just like imagine their judgment before I ever opened my mouth. But now like I don't even care what they think about me because I'm not putting any weight or worth into their stories, only my own, and the fact that sharing these stories could be of some use to you or someone else out there. Because now that like just that mindset shift of caring, like that alone is transformational. And I guess like that's kind of the story of how coaching has transformed my life, right? Like that's just one example, caring less about what other people think of me. But I want to move on to the juicy story that inspired this episode. And when I say juicy, I mean literally, because I'm about to tell you a story about some watermelon. So, yes, like in talking about the fruit watermelon, uh, because yes, I was afraid of it. I was afraid of watermelon, and don't laugh. You know what? Actually, you know what? Go ahead, laugh, but hear me out. Like, I love watermelon. It is one of my favorite summertime treats, and we've been nearing the end of summer, and I've just been thinking about it more and more, and like just the texture and the flavor and the juiciness, and like it's just so good. But for years, and I'm trying to talk about like my entire adult life, really. Like, I didn't buy it. But if I love it so much, why? Because cutting it felt like this like Olympic event that I was like destined to fail at, and like I could not do a good job. Because like it was the fruit was like awkward and heavy, and the knife slips around and it's awkward to cut, and it like I see it cut up by other people, and like it just looks like it's really presentable and nice. And like I was afraid of like kitchen knives, of like cutting myself. So I used to avoid cutting things in the kitchen like altogether, just because I was afraid of the knives. But I'd see this watermelon in the store and I'd want it, and I'd actually picture myself like eating a cold, juicy slice, and then I'd walk right past it, because in my head I couldn't cut it with finesse, with ease. Like it was just too hard. And I was worried that it just wouldn't be as tasty in real life as it was in my head. Like I just had these like weird expectations, and I've had some watermelons like that were duds that other people had bought and cut up, and like they were just duds, like not great. But all of that, like that is perfectionism right there. Like turning this delicious snack into like this self-judgment parade, which for the record is a very shitty parade. But here's what happened a couple weeks ago. I bought the watermelon, I came home, cut it up, ugly chunks, not Instagram worthy, and I didn't even think twice about it. I just did it. I ate it and loved it. I got another one in my fridge right now. Like it wasn't done perfectly. Like it wasn't even done neatly. It was just done freely. No drama, no mental gymnastics. I wanted watermelon. I got it. I cut it. I ate it. Bada bing, bada boom. And it was so funny because as I was eating it, that's when this hit me. This used to be like this whole big thing and ordeal for me, and now it's just not. And so this made my entire experience of eating this watermelon like that much more juicy and delicious and refreshing. And yes, all of these puns are 100% fully intended. Hope you enjoy them. But now, every single time I eat a watermelon, I am now reminded of this kind of like aha moment, this realization that this used to be a big deal for me and now it's not. And I remember and feeling it emotionally and in my body. And every time that happens, now that every single time I eat a watermelon and I have this remembering and feel it in my body, it continues to rewire my brain and change my conscious and my unconscious narratives around watermelon and other things that it's tied to, like knives and kitchens, and I can do hard things and things like that. That's how the brain works. And that's why it's so great in like having these repeat experiences, because what we repeat in our brain settles in neat, if you will. And if perfectionism can stop me from eating watermelon my entire adult life, you better believe it be showing up in bigger places and in bigger ways. And as I continue to ask my brain for more evidence of how coaching has really like changed my life, and there's some other memories that popped up, and this next one ironically is also about food. I just love food. I think about it all the time. It's delicious, right? But years ago, I was in a team building activity when I was working in corporate with my leadership team. And it was kind of like a movie night, but like make your own pizza and then we'll watch movies. And so we had the dough, we had the toppings, music was going. It was supposed to just be like this light and fun event. Except for me, it was not fun at all. It was not fun at all. Like the second I touched the dough, I can still remember this so clearly. The second I touched the dough, I froze. Like it was sticky. I was trying to like knead it and stretch it, but it was stretching in all the wrong places. And my mind just started spiraling. It was like, I can't make it look right. I'm doing it wrong. Everyone's watching me. They're going to think that I'm completely incompetent. I mean, maybe I am incompetent. Who the screws up pizza? Like, how can I even be a good leader if I can't even make a pizza? Insane spirals, right? Meanwhile, everyone else was like laughing and tossing on toppings and chatting like this was no big deal and just having a great time the way that it was intended to be. But inside, like I was just silently screaming and wishing that I could just disappear and not exist and not be seen. And honestly, no, I'm not being dramatic. Like this was like a real kind of panic internal experience. Like I look back now on that version of myself with so much compassion because obviously the pizza was not the problem. It was never about the pizza. It was about how I engaged with emotions and the self judgment and the fear of other people and their perceptions. Like that memory is just a snapshot of how I used to operate and how coaching has shifted me. I had the story in my head. I believed I needed to be in control. I thought I had to be perfect. Subconsciously, like I knew that I wasn't perfect and that I never would be. But all of it was just painful. Like this is a good example of the difference between a fixed mindset where we are just the way we are and there's nothing we can do about it. And like first of all, let's just talk about how disempowering that is because oh my gosh. And the difference between a growth mindset is like where discomfort or imperfection doesn't have to be a problem, but it's just kind of a decision point. It's more informing. And this is kind of how we think we need to start thinking about our emotions, right? Coaching taught me to pause and acknowledge what I was feeling and neutralize it, or at least not push it down or push it away, but in a way that's like, okay, let's look at this rather than trying to like sweep it under the rug, right? So then I learned how to shift those stories, those emotions into something useful. And like now I can make pizza, I can make it lopsided crust, no crust, too much cheese, although like is that even really possible cuz delicious. Like whatever, like I can do that kind of stuff and have a blast doing it and it's totally fine. And I've watched myself over the years start to respond differently in these types of moments and like these little moments, just noticing the feeling and questioning the story my brain was telling me and ultimately choosing a pathway that felt aligned in what I wanted. And typically, if y'all like me, like I'm looking for more joy, more ease, more connection, more flow. Like that's what I want. And those choices are now easier to choose, like to go in that direction. And so, like the watermelon, the pizza, yes, they're little things, sure, but they are a proof of something big. Like that I'm not living from this perfectionistic place that I used to. And when you start noticing those shifts in like the small stuff, you start realizing that they've been quietly happening in all of the big stuff too. And it just kind of adds up. It's the snowball effect, compound effect, right? So I started asking myself like where else have things shifted for me that I hadn't even noticed? And of course, because our brains are awesome, like you ask it a question, it's going to give you an answer. Like my brain just kind of opened like the floodgates and I just wanted to let my heart feel these different transformations that I had experienced because suddenly like I could see the ripple effect in my life in ways that I had completely taken for granted and not really given myself or my brain or my body any credit for. So things like cooking other things in the kitchen without the mental noise of like doing it wrong or cutting things up or not measuring exactly right or uh, fudging the ingredients that we have in the kitchen to make something edible, right? Like none of that was even possible in the past. Other things like uh, walking into social events without this internalized anxiety or this hide in the corner type kind of plan. Like I used to go to social events at a friend's house, and like everyone else would I'd be social, and I would like curl up behind the couch and just kind of sleep because I used to just like, shut down. Like that's not a thing for me anymore. Like another one is navigating conflict in my marriage without freezing or getting defensive. I'm able to uh, communicate what my needs are, speak up for myself, and advocate for myself, and give my partner grace. It's so different than how it used to be. And another one is like setting boundaries, whether that's with my partner, with family, friends, colleagues, without feeling like such a monster. And like the changes were so like everything that I've talked about, right? Those changes were just they've kind of been so integrated into who I am now that I don't always recognize them as wins until I zoomed out and saw how different my life is now. Because sometimes it still feels the same, right? Emotions feel the same, but it doesn't mean the situation itself is the same. And so reflecting on these experiences really kind of revealed these patterns and these moments when I paused, I noticed what I was feeling and let that awareness kind of guide my next step in letting perfectionism go rather than dictate the outcome. And what's great about this, like it's not this is not just something special for me, right? Like I see these same transformations in my clients as well. Like one client um, who always struggled to like not have enough time to get all the things done is now getting things done faster with less resistance, which means they're getting to more of the things on their to-do list, and it just feels more easier and more peaceful. And another client, they went to a conference alone, which they had never done before. And instead of hiding it, like hiding in their hotel room or like clinging to the corner or a comfy spot, like they actually socialized and networked and enjoyed themselves. And another client who had been talking about how they don't have the time that they want to focus on building their business, like is now starting to see their progress, even on the days where they don't necessarily feel great. Like they've been doing the building all along with each new person they hire, each leadership meeting they have, like contributes to the building. But that foundation and systems that they've built for themselves is also a huge part of it. And part of that is letting that perfectionism go. And none of these clients or myself like became perfect or did things perfectly even. Like that's let's dispel that myth. Like but they became free from the perfectionism that was running the show just by acknowledging their effort and spending time remembering their wins. And if I'm being really, really honest, what connects all of these stories is actually less about perfectionism disappearing and more about how we relate to the emotions and the thoughts that perfectionism triggers. Noticing, reflecting, letting awareness guide action where like that's where the change happens. Like the stories we tell ourselves aren't always true, right? Like I said at the beginning, not all thoughts are true, even if they come up. Like, even when fear and anxiety feel intense, they do not have to control our decisions. Like, those emotions can become really powerful signals for us. When we pause, when we observe, and we reflect, they can guide us rather than paralyze us. But we have to start to notice, like, what is actually happening versus the story my brain is telling me. How am I feeling physically? How am I feeling emotionally? How am I like what's happening mentally? And then like what's the next step that aligns with the values and what I truly want? What is it I need in this moment? How does this align to my future self? Like, it's this kind of awareness that really builds confidence and reduces anxiety and creates space for empowerment. It's a muscle, it's not a switch. And like any muscle, it's going to get stronger the more we practice it. And so I've seen firsthand how coaching can support these shifts, both in myself and in people that I work with. And that's why I've decided, like, I'm opening up a few more spots for my private coaching practice, because if these stories, thinking about the change and what has come about, it really has just kind of opened my eyes to, oh my gosh, like, what is it that we're holding on to? Like, we can make change. I can help people make change. You can make change. It's so funny. Like, these are all things that I know. They're probably all things that you know as well. But sometimes it's all about timing, and it's all about the examples and how it applies in our life. And so this is why I'm opening up some more spots in my practice, because if these stories resonate with you, if you recognize your own watermelon or pizza moments, like if perfectionism or anxiety or overthinking, like if they're keeping you from fully enjoying your life, if they're keeping you from things that you want to be doing, coaching can help you. It's going to help you notice and reflect on your emotional patterns. It's going to help you build confidence and empowerment in just every single day, like, and big life decisions. And it's going to help transform anxiety and fear into intentional, value centered action. Because sometimes we're not ready, and that's okay. And sometimes the story unfolds in its own time. So if you are ready, and if my speaking and coaching style resonates with you, like, schedule a connection call. Let's explore how you can start to notice your emotions, shift your patterns, and just kind of step into more confidence, more empowerment, more ease, more rebellion, even. Because when you change the stories you tell yourself, especially around your emotions that you're experiencing, you can truly change your life. And when your life changes, you can create the changes you want to see in the world. That's so important. That's huge. So on my blog, like, I've included a reflection exercise for you if you want to start transforming like your own fear into something more positive and more powerful. I'm going to link it in the show notes rather than go uh, over it on the podcast, just because of time. But I will link it in the show notes for you. It's really great. It's very fantastic. It's short, 5 questions, but it will really help you kind of step into this version of yourself and help you transform that fear or anxiety or overthinking, or just however perfectionism is showing up for you. So that is all I have for you today, my friends. Thank you so much for being here. As always, remember, shining bright gives others permission to shine as well. Take care.
Hey, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you want to learn how to tap into the powerful force of nature you know exists within you, head on over to coachwithcam.com and take the Elemental Energy Type quiz. You'll discover more about how your sensitivity isn't a weakness, but rather the place where your strengths come from. And if you enjoyed the show, make sure to follow, rate, and review it on your favorite podcast platform, and share it with a friend or family member who you want to connect with on a deeper level. You'll be helping other sensitive folks like us find and join our amazing community. So let's connect and support each other on this incredible journey.